Stranger Things became an immediate hit when people first watched the first season. It's still a hit show, but many people don't know what it takes to produce such a fantastic film. Welcome to Riveted, where we'll reveal all the juicy facts about Stranger Things. Subscribe to the channel for this and other amazing videos. We also give away Amazon gift cards, and all you have to do is answer the hidden question in the video. Let's start with number 20. Mike was supposed to have a birthmark. One of the initial ideas was that Mike Wheeler, played by Finn Wolfhard, was supposed to have a birthmark on his cheek. After playing around with the concept, the Duffer Brothers ditched the idea. Finn confirmed the fact himself, saying in the Stranger Things Worlds Turned Upside Down book that his original character had a big birthmark on his face. That was actually a story point, but they ended up removing it because they thought that the kids were better off staying natural. Just think of the fan theories that a distinctive mark like that could have spawned. Number 19, good bargain. Many of the impressive special effects on Stranger Things are wildly expensive, but luckily, the production team found savings elsewhere. For example, the rundown trailer that served as Chief Hopper's home apparently cost the art department just a whopping $1 to buy. Not a bad deal, right? 18, Little Girl Lost. The entire premise of Stranger Things is an eerie reflection of an episode of The Twilight Zone called Little Girl Lost. In the episode, a little girl goes missing after her mother tucks her into bed. Her parents hear her cries for help but are unable to find her and discover that she has been transported to a parallel dimension. Number 17, life imitation. Dustin is mocked by school bullies in the first episode of Season 1 because of his missing teeth. In response, he tells the bullies that he has cleidocranial dysplasia. There's a reason the scene hits home so hard. Actor Matarazzo was actually born with this disorder, which affects the development of teeth and bones. This is a perfect example of art imitating life. 16. Curses were allowed. In Season 2, a few curses slipped into the dialogue of the four main young characters. Netflix requested the swear words be removed from the script, but the kids objected strenuously. Their objections convinced Netflix to allow the producers to shoot alternative takes, which included the cuss words. Once Netflix execs saw the first two episodes, they decided it would be fine and allowed the language. 15. Based on real events. Stranger Things is based on real conspiracy theories about the United States government conducting reality-bending experiments on children, specifically the Montauk Project, which has been referenced in other fiction from Lost to Thomas Finkton's novel Bleeding Edge. The show was initially called Montauk and set on the far edge of the Long Island Peninsula. Montauk was also the inspiration for the town in Jaws, another story of a monster menacing a small community, and one of many Spielberg movies that inspired Stranger Things. Number 14, auditions were insane. While the Duffers may have had the musical ambiance firmly in mind, they had absolutely no idea who they wanted to play the lead roles in Stranger Things. 906 boys and 307 girls auditioned for the roles of Eleven, Mike, Dustin, Lucas, and Will. During the audition, the kids were asked to read classic scenes from Stand By Me. Finally, Millie Bobby Brown, Finn Wolfhard, Got Matarazzo, Caleb McLaughlin, and Noah Schnapp got the lead roles. After seeing her in Intruders, Stephen King tweeted about how terrific Millie Bobby Brown was. That certainly gave Millie a leg up over the other competitors. You can tell from the ratio that they extended the net widest to find 11, and despite a sea of child actors at their disposal, they cast Gatton Matarazzo as Dustin immediately. 13, rejected 15 times. It's hard to believe that such a successful project was rejected so many times by productions. In the beginning, Duffer Brothers prepared a script of the Stranger Things series along with a 20-page pitch book. They pitched the story to 15 cable networks, but all of them rejected it as they felt that a plot centered on children as leading characters would not work. They even asked the Duffer Brothers to make it a children's show or drop the children and focus on Hopper's investigation in the paranormal. But eventually, the whole season was purchased by the streaming service Netflix for an undisclosed amount. Netflix was so impressed with Stranger Things that they bought the show within 24 hours of hearing the pitch. Number 12, the Demogorgon was a real guy. While Season 2 included plenty of special effects and CGI, the first season's Demogorgon was actor Mark Steger wearing a monster suit and small stilts and small amounts of green clothing so his real arms could be made invisible for the finished scenes. Apparently, the monster terrified some of the youngest actors when it first appeared on the set of Stranger Things. To calm the toddlers, the cast told them the monster wasn't a bad monster at all, but a funny one like the ones in Monsters, Inc., like Sully. In an interview, the Duffer Brothers claimed that they wanted Demogorgon to be recognizable anywhere, so while creating it, they made sure that it has a defined silhouette. The Demogorgon has such a simplicity that a 12-year-old child watching it could sketch it. Number 11, Upside Down stuck on set. The Upside Down was referred to as the Nether in the original scripts, but once the series aired and fans heard the way Eleven and the boys flip over the Dungeons & Dragons board to explain the alternate dimension, the term Upside Down stuck. Number 10, douchebag alert. The character of Steve Harrington was originally written as the biggest douchebag on the planet, but Joe Keery was so charming in the role that he became a fan favorite. The Duffer Brothers decided to keep him and allowed him to redeem himself. The character was a nod to the classic Stephen King villain Randall Flagg, who has appeared in several of the author's novels. But in his audition, Montgomery channeled a lot of other demons. He read through the prepared scenes, but then added a Duran Duran song in the middle of reciting the scene, where he tries to run down Max's new friends, started dancing, went a little nutty, and then ended the entire thing with a newfound mustache and without a shirt. Number 9, too tall for roles. Sadie Sink almost didn't land the role of Max because the Duffer Brothers thought she was too tall. During the first reading, she towered over her castmates, but by the time the second reading was scheduled, they were catching up, and she got the part. In the scene where the kids drop raw meat on the train tracks to bait the demi-dogs, the art department had to get creative to give things the right look. In the end, they used an odd concoction, an equal parts mix of watermelon and actual raw beef. Apparently, it was enough to really gross out Sadie Sink, who's a vegetarian. Number 8, the show was almost something else. Apparently, Stranger Things was supposed to be an anthology series with different characters and settings every season. The Duffer Brothers meant for it to kick off with a monster-centric flash of 1980s nostalgia, but then they wanted it to tell new eerie tales in progress through the 1990s, 2000s, 2010s, and then 2020, in a final season that would air in 2020. The show would have said goodbye to Eleven, Dustin, Will, Mike, Lucas, and the rest of the cast after the first season. Luckily, they realized how special the team they'd assembled was and chose to keep focusing on their original story. Pranking the Moms, number 7. Will Byers' disappearance sets the entire show into motion in Season 1, and his fake dead body covers up the government's secret project for about 5 minutes. The show ordered a prop body from Fractured FX, and when it arrived, they used it to freak out Schnapp's mom. After the initial shock, she loved it. Schnapp's mom posed for pictures with the fake corpse, which she then texted to her friends. Think of it as a long movie, number 6. Throughout Beyond Stranger Things and in interviews, you'll hear the Duffer Brothers and executive producer Sean Levy calling the second season of Stranger Things a sequel. This is because they think of Stranger Things as a long movie. It is even reflected on Netflix, where toggling between seasons is shown as Stranger Things and Stranger Things 2, instead of the typical Season 1 and Season 2. Number 5, creepy music on set. Sean Levy has directed several episodes in addition to producing the series. In Episode 3 of Beyond Stranger Things, he explained why he played eerie music during shooting if he needed to get the young actors into character. Joe Keery confirmed that director Andrew Stanton also used the same tactic and played the score from Close Encounters of the Third Kind during the Demi-Dog Junkyard Showdown filming. Number 4, Bob's death. Bob's eventual death was almost more violent. One unused take had Sean Astin filling his mouth with fake blood and coughing it up like a geyser, but the showrunners decided to make it less violent. However, there was something more interesting while they were shooting the death scene. One of the writers, Kay Treffery, happened to be on set when they were filming Bob's death, and the Duffer Brothers realized she was about the right size for a demi-dog. They had Treffery sit over Sean Astin and attack him like a demi-dog in order to accurately CGI the monster later. Number 3, writing from experience. In the series, the 4 friends, Will, Mike, Dustin, and Lucas, are characterized as school geeks who are bullied. The show's creators, the Duffer Brothers, had experienced the same situation in school. In an interview, they even claimed to have hated high school, so they found it easy to write about these 4 friends. Also, their prior experiences helped a lot in writing the other characters, such as Barbara, aka Barb. Number 2, familiar location. In Chapter 2, the weirdo on Maple Street of Stranger Things, Police Chief Hopper and others search a quarry area while trying to find Will. The same quarry has been used to shoot a number of other shows, such as The Walking Dead and The Fundamentals of Caring. In The Walking Dead, the quarry scene appears in Season 1, most notably Episode 4, Vatos. Before we reveal the last fact, here are some other interesting facts about the beloved show. All the childhood pictures of Barb that are shown in Season 2 premiere are actual pictures of actress Shannon Purser as a child. Natalia Dyer, who plays Nancy, and Charlie Heaton, who plays Jonathan, are dating in real life. Eleven is obsessed with eating Eggos after years spent in a government facility. In real life, Millie Bobby Brown, who plays 11, finds them gross. The Duffers convinced Winona Ryder to play Joyce during a 4.5-hour meeting before she took the lead role in the Netflix series. Winona Ryder had no idea what streaming was. Prior to production, the young castmates started their own group chat, which they appropriately called Stranger Texts. In it, they discussed everything from a pimple that Millie Bobby Brown had to a trip to Six Flags. David Harbour wanted Hopper to wear a hat in homage to Indiana Jones. The Duffers used photos of Charlize Theron in Mad Max: Fury Road to convince Brown to cut her hair short. Right before Mike and Eleven's Season 2 kiss, actor Finn Wolfhard warned Millie Bobby Brown by saying, "I'm coming in." The uniform and vehicles of the Hawkins Police Department are identical to those used in Jaws and Jaws 2. Showrunners, the Duffer Brothers have been accused of abuse. The pair was blamed for verbally abusing female employees in March of 2018. David Harbour was the first and only choice for Hopper. And now to our final point. Number 1, cool references. Some of the scenes in Stranger Things were inspired and include references to the movie Poltergeist. The name of the movie appears in a flashback scene when Joyce Byers surprises Will with tickets to see Poltergeist. The similarity between the two movies appears when both the trapped kids try to communicate with their respective mothers in basically the same way. Will communicates through light bulbs while Carrie Ann through a television. We also have another cool reference. The smiley face yellow yo-yo used by Jonathan and Nancy to set a trap for the Demogorgon is a reference to Smiley Face in the 80s horror classic The Howling. Also, in Episode 3 of Stranger Things, the police chief comes to know about an experiment involving LSD and a patient. This scene pays homage to Stephen King's novel Firestarter. Oh, that's not all. The upside-down world where the Demogorgon lives shares similarities with the video game Silent Hill. And that brings us to the end of the video. Our question for today is, what do you love most about Stranger Things? Leave your comment down below, and remember to check back tomorrow for another amazing piece. This has been Riveted.
All right.